Qingyi is our new S-rank limited stun agent in Zone Zero, and Hoyoverse has given me the opportunity to share her kit with you through the Creator Experience server. So today we'll go over her abilities, combos, synergies, and W engines, and also a basic build guide at the end. But just remember that this is still an early version of Qingyi and does not fully represent the end product of her, so please follow along with the timestamps below, and let's get started. Welcome to my channel, my name is Qingyi, and I'll be your host today. Starting with Qingyi's basic attack. In Ultimate, she will launch 4 attacks dealing a mix of physical and electric damage, and on the 3rd sequence you can rapidly press the attack button to continuously deal electric damage in an AoE around her. By letting go of the attack button briefly, she will automatically transition to the 4th attack in her basic attack string. If you hold her basic attack though, she will perform Enchanted Blossoms instead. During Enchanted Blossoms, she will unleash a flurry of electric attacks in front of her. These all lead up to her special mechanic, Flash Connect. Right under Qingyi's health bar you will see a special meter, and once this special meter reaches 75% full, it allows her to enter the Flash Connect state. During Flash Connect, every 1% consumed during her new charge attack, Enhanced Moonlit Blossoms, she will increase the damage and daze inflicted upon the enemy. While she is in the middle of her charge attack during the Flash Connect state, she will gain interruption resistance, allowing her to tank through any attack so long as she has enough health. So please be wary of the enemies you are fighting and know when it is safe to tank and when it is not. But also on the final strike of this enhanced attack, Qingyi will automatically perform a dodge counter if she was to be struck during the animation, giving you safe the entire way through. Qingyi's basic attacks are a key to her gameplay, and knowing when to hold her basic attack 3 to stun lock enemies, or rather unleash a rapid combo instantly stunning an elite, will make her great. But also her basic attacks pair extremely well with the rest of her kit, as Qingyi being a stun agent has an above average daze multiplier on her dodge counter, assist follow-up, special attack, and chain attacks. Qingyi's dodge, reach, may look simple on paper, but with her amazing daze multipliers on her entire kit, you'll want to use this dodge a lot more than a typical unit, as if you have a full meter of Flash Connect available, you can unleash a devastating daze combo with your dodge counters into an enhanced charge attack, while Qingyi's assist follow-up from a successful parry, Song of a Clear River, has an almost 500% daze multiplier at max level, meaning Qingyi is amazing at being able to strike back on aggressive enemies for your team and quickly immobilize them soon after taking the field. Qingyi's special attack, Sunlit Glory, is not that special at all, with not only extremely low damage multipliers, but also an extremely low daze multiplier as well. I do not recommend using this attack ever to break a normal combo with her. However, Qingyi's EX special attack, Moonlit Begonia, is a different story, due to the damage multiplier being almost 10 times higher and the daze multiplier being almost 7 times higher than the normal special attack. And because of the utility the special attack also provides in combat, this makes Energy Regen as a 2-piece set on her become extremely valuable. But we will get more to her builds later on. Qingyi's chain attack, Tranquil Serenade, is actually better than one may think, as it has a great AoE in front of her, allowing you to chain stun mobs and potentially even elites if they are grouped together prior. And we will find out later on she has a teammate that is very capable of grouping enemies together for her. And when it comes to Qingyi's ultimate, 8 Sounds of the Ganzhou, it has an incredible 1600% daze multiplier at max level. But many will say, she's a stun agent though, why will we use her ultimate? This is the case for most teams, yes, but not every team, as there are certain agents that can build decibels at a much faster rate than others do. An example of this is Grace, as Grace can build decibels at one of the fastest rates in the entire game, allowing her teams to use more ultimates than others. And if you pair Grace and Qingyi together, and you are facing an enemy with a large daze meter, then you can use Qingyi's ultimate early on against them, and still have the ability to gain back your ultimate. And when you are in this scenario, her massive daze multiplier on her ultimate is incredibly valuable to have. But now that we have seen her skills, we can talk about her core passive, as it is what ties everything together and makes Qingyi, in my opinion, the new standard for stun agents in Zone Zero, as Qingyi's core passive, Internal Seasons, allows her to apply what's known as subjugation to an enemy through her basic attacks, and this can stack up to 20 times. And at max level, each attack increases the enemy's stun damage multiplied by 3%, allowing them to take up to 60% more damage when they are stunned. Also, if Qingyi is to hit an enemy with a dodge counter, she applies 10 stacks immediately, and any normal elite enemy has their stacks doubled. Each stack of subjugation also increases her chain attack by 3%, making her chain attack feel even better than most stun agents in the game currently. So when you combine all of Qingyi's skills and passives together, you have a stun agent that can not only deliver devastating daze combos, but do them quick and efficiently, while also being able to adapt to the enemies she is facing and change her combos accordingly, depending on the situation at hand. And then on top of this, with her good damage multipliers herself, you have an extremely all-around agent that can benefit any team with her, so long as they have an attack or NEPS agent, as she only needs one of the two to activate her extra ability that will increase her daze even further. When it comes to combos with Qingyi, I know many players gravitate to using her basic 3, and while this can be good for certain situations, for most I don't believe so, as her basic 3, while fun, and can also indefinitely stun lock mobs. It does very little damage and also very little daze as well, so typically you'll want to use the basic 3 until you hit the required 75% to now unleash her enhanced charge attack, as going from basic 3 into charge attack into an EX special is going to instantly stun most enemies in the game outside of bosses. You can also cancel your basic 3 into a dodge counter and transition into a charge attack as well, then finish your combo. And finally, against aggressive enemies that attack repeatedly, you can go for a dodge counter into a basic string, cancel into an EX special, into another dodge counter, and now finish with your enhanced charge attack combo. Qingyi is extremely flexible in the way she can fight, and you can also adapt to almost any enemy with ease. Looking at her synergies though, it is to no surprise that she works extremely well with Juyen. My previous criticisms of Juyen was against certain enemies in the game she seemed to not feel the best, as her burst damage wasn't as useful, but now with Qingyi, she has a teammate that can help immobilize these pesky enemies much faster and gives Juyen much more time and opportunity to release her burst damage effectively. Also thanks to Nicole, who happens to be Juyen's best support, Qingyi and Nicole together can cause a chain reaction of stunning enemies together. With Nicole's grouping and Qingyi and Juyen's AoE, anything inside Nicole's gravity field is going to be decimated within seconds. I had very high hopes for this team, and they have met my expectations. The only downside is the lower invested your Juyen and Qingyi are, this team will not feel the best, as this team shines in making enemies immobilized through most of the fight and killing them before they've had a chance to fight back. So if you're not able to get quick stuns with Qingyi, or your Juyen isn't able to burst down enemies quick enough, this team will feel significantly worse. So please make sure you highly invest into their skills, abilities, and drive disc if you are to make this team. But what about other synergies? Many people will be wondering about Ellen, as there are a lot of Ellen Joe players who still do not have Lycon. And through testing, I can say I don't really recommend Qingyi just for Ellen Joe, as it doesn't feel like a bad team by any means. I just don't think it is worth it. However, if you plan to use Qingyi with any future attack agent or even Neps agent as well, then she could be a great pickup for you, as you would then get much more out of her than just using her for Ellen. And using her for Ellen can be just temporary until you get Lycan or any future support that comes to the game for Ellen Joe. One synergy that really shocked me though was how great she felt with Anton. Anton has always had a problem with dealing with aggressive enemies, as they would usually force him to dodge out of his animations early, causing him to not get all the damage he wants. But with Qingyi and her ability to stun so fast, it allows Anton so much more opportunity to do his entire combos without being interrupted, and this has made this duo feel amazing in my opinion. So if you're an Anton enjoyer and do not have what I believe to be his current best team in Grace and Rena, I believe Qingyi is a great replacement for this team. But let's quickly look at W engines. Her signature W engine, Ice Shade Teapot, has a very high base attack of 713 and gives 18% impact as well, and the passive allows her basic attacks to increase her impact even more, up to 21%, giving you a grand total of 39% impact from her W engine alone. And on top of this, as long as she maintains 15 of the 30 stacks, she will then further increase her team H damage by an additional 20%. So looking at this is by far her best in slot W engine, but best is far from necessary, as Kaleda and Lycan's W engines are more than fine if you happen to have them, with Kaleda's giving energy regen increasing the impact after using an EX special attack, and Lycan's W engine giving more damage in days from basic attacks. Makes both of these work extremely well for Qingyi, so her W engine, while great, is not a necessity at all if you happen to already have these. But even if you don't have an S-rank W engine, that is okay, as Ambi's W engine and the Steam Oven W engine are also great free-to-play alternatives that will serve your Qingyi well. And finally, let's go over a basic build guide for Qingyi. When it comes to skill prioritization, I recommend her core passive, basic attacks, and special attacks be your first focus. But again, Qingyi is a character that you will get the most out of if you highly invest into her, so eventually raising all of her skills will be the end goal. As for drive disc, a 4-piece Shock Star Disco will be the best for most situations, and for the 2-piece, it can be either a 2-piece pin, 2-piece attack, 2-piece energy regen, or even a 2-piece electric damage. I recommend going with what you have the best subsets for, and if you do not have a full 4-piece yet, then any 3 2-piece set combinations mentioned above will work just fine. Qingyi has so far been a joy to play and has surprised me with her performance in many teams. I do not believe she is a must-pull by any means, but she will be a great pickup for anyone's account regardless of if you have Juyen or not, as she has proven to be more than viable on her own. And I will have many more videos for Qingyi in the future, so be sure to subscribe for more. And once again, thank you to Hoyoverse for allowing me to show off Qingyi to everyone today. If you haven't already, go and check me out on Twitter at Ket7th and join the Discord for future giveaways. And as always, my name is Ket7th. With that, I'm signing out.